Good evening and welcome to Jackery Live. Now, you guys know that Prime Week has been a big hit and a bunch of great deals throughout, but hey, we're extending some sales throughout this week, and you guys are going to see some cool products at great, decent prices. Now, I want to welcome everybody here. I know it's been a long week of shopping for a lot of you, but hey, if you stuck it out with us, why not stake it out again? We're going to have a bunch of fun. We're still going to give you guys all that information you need about the power stations that you may just want to see or may love already. Now, of course, like always, I am James, and I'm going to be here throughout your show, and I'm going to try and answer as much questions as I can during that allotted time slot. Now, if there are other questions, Lois will attempt as well to answer those. We do have a couple little technical errors, of course, if you guys have been watching the news today. So some accounts aren't working and some stuff is working. With that being said, we're going to get the show on the road. We're going to start off, of course, with our little baby power station that is all but little and mighty. Now, we're going to start this show off with the 100 Plus. Now, the 100 Plus is a beautiful little power station, guys, right here. This is a power station in its own right. This power station is going to be perfectly set for traveling or just quick usage around the house or whatever you really need. This little thing is TSA approved. That's right, TSA approved. That means you guys can take it on a plane, take it on a bus, take it on a train, or just travel wherever you want with it. It will go through, of course, all those checkpoints without an issue. Now, this is, of course, a nice little power station in its own package, but it is also a LifePo 4 cell. Now, LifePo 4 cell is individually wrapped for that power of your need. Now, with it is 99 watt hours of power, 31,000 milliamps. It does come, of course, with the cable kit right here, this USB-C to USB-C cable. It does, of course, have their Jackery Velcro strap around it. And also comes with the USB-C to DC plug adapter for the solar panel connection. With that, of course, you guys have two USB-C ports and a USB-A port right there on that front. Those USB-C ports are, of course, 100 watt capable of both directions, in and out. That means you guys can charge this with a solar panel. Now, the even better part is that USB-A port that's going to give you 18 watts of power for your other devices. With this is a nice little powerhouse in a 2-pound package. This 2-pound package, of course, is very light, very acceptable. Can be tossed around. No, don't toss it around, guys. I'm joking around. But definitely is very light and carryable. Even a kid can carry this without a problem. And that's where this is really going to stand out. For those long car rides, maybe you want to plug a tablet into this to give those kids a little extended viewing time or video game time so they're out of your hair and quit asking, are we there yet? And that's a really great option. Now, it does, of course, have a screen. That screen right there is going to show you guys 50% battery. It's also going to show you guys the input and output of your voltage that's being used. This is going to be able to allow you to use, let's say, like a Nintendo Switch, for instance, for the kids, about 4.5 hours of runtime with that. Now, if it's not for the kids and it's for you, well, still, 4.5 hours, play video games. For those of you that want to charge your iPhone 14s or 15s, you're going to get about 6 charges off of that on this, of course, for those phones. That's a good time. Now, I've actually tested this for a few different things. First and foremost, I've ran Keystone lighting off it without an issue. I've actually had a Nintendo Switch and a portable monitor on this and ran it, of course, for 3.5 hours. It works really, really well in a package of its own size. 2 pounds of weight, handheld, palm size, can be put in a backpack, can be in your purse, can put in your pants if you really have big jeans and you don't like Jinko jeans. Those are definitely coming back for the skaters and everybody else alike, and has all the cabling that you're going to need. The only thing this does not come with is the wall adapter. You will have to have your own wall adapter to plug it into to charge it, or vice versa with that. So, guys, hey, great little option. The 100 Plus at $89.99. That's still a 40% savings for you on this beautiful Friday night. So we're going to move on for the 100 Plus, and we're going to show you guys the 240. Now, the 240 is still a very beautiful station. It's actually in their original housing. This is the 240 in the original housing of its sort. It does have a fixed handle right here. That fixed handle is also going to lead you down to, of course, that beautiful bright orange Jackery logo. Now with this is 240 watt hours of power in a power station. Now it is a lithium ion battery, not of course a LiFePo, it's a lithium ion. Now on the side, you do have some cooling technologies with the case being opened to allow for the battery charge and everything else in between. On the bottom, you have silicone pads. These nice little pads are going to allow you to set it on surfaces and not mar them up or damage those surfaces. You do have one AC outlet. That means you have that standard 3-prong or 2-prong American house style plug. That's going to allow you to do 200 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 400 if need be. You also have two USB-A ports, a 5 volt 2.4 amp, and a DC input port. That's where you're going to charge it off a wall plug, cigarette lighter, or solar panel. On the opposite side, you're going to have a DC 12 volt 10 amp style plug. This is going to be like your old school cigarette lighter style adapter plugs with that. Now, fixed handle, 7 pounds of weight, 240 watt hours of power. This is going to allow you to do multiple things, like a Nintendo Switch for about 30 hours, or of course, charge about 12 cell phones off of this. You could also do about, I think, anywhere from, I'm going to say 4 to 5 drone batteries, 15 DSLR batteries, like your 8.4 watt batteries. It is going to take about 3.5 hours to charge this on a wall plug. It'll take about 5 hours in your car on that cigarette lighter if you're going on a little trip. Or if you guys have a 100 watt solar panel, about 5 hours of charge rate as well. This is a great piece of technology. Very lightweight, very carryable. This is going to work out well for you. Now, it does, of course, have Class 9 drop protection and, of course, Class 9 fire retardant shell. Fire retardant shell is actually a really nice little addition to these systems, and it's a great little piece. This is actually coming in at $175 tonight. Still on sale, of course, which is a great deal for those of you that want something like this. I love that option, of course. If you need, check it out, the 240. Just going to say 240. Now, we're going to move on to, of course, the newer version of the 240. Now, we have the 240 V2. This is the 240 V2 right here, guys. Now, the 240 V2 is actually a newer style, newer housing. It has a handle that folds and can be put away. It's actually got some other technologies, includes it charges off a 3-prong larger wall plug. Now, with it, you do have one AC outlet that does 300 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 600. With it, it is actually 256 watt hours of power. So it steps up just slightly a bit, but it also moves to the LiFePo 4-cell system. Now, with this, of course, is actually really cool. Chucky, what's up, my dude? It's got two USB-C ports. One's a 100 watt port, the other is a 15 watt port. That 100 watt port is an in and out port. You also have a 15 watt USB-A port. You still have that 12 volt 10 amp DC plug and the flashlight. Now, the flashlight's going to do a couple modes of lighting, including some other pieces of SOS pattern. Now, with it, it does have a different style of screen, and we're going to actually kind of try and turn it on for you to show you guys that screen. You have that, well, I guess I didn't turn it on for you. There you go. You guys can see that black and orange high contrast. With that, you also see the flashing of the light. This can run on an app. The app is, of course, iOS or Android based. It will allow you to turn on these switches and turn off those switches at will. Another cool part is this has got what's called Charge Shield 2.0. Charge Shield 2.0 means you have a 1-hour charge rate on a wall plug. That's kind of cool to be able to have this one charged in 1 hour of time. Now, if you wanted to, guys, plug in, of course, a 100 watt solar panel, have it charged in 3 hours. Or use that USB-C port, that 100 watt port, and have it charged in 2 hours. That's really up to you. With it, again, guys, you're going to get about 12 to 13 cell phone charges, 4 to 5 drone batteries, and of course about, Bluetooth speaker, 10 watt Bluetooth speaker, about 16 hours of runtime. This will also run a house fan for about 3.5 to 4 hours, and most of those house fans are about 45 watts. Still, under 8 pounds of weight, so still very carryable, very accessible, still has all those protections, including intelligent battery management system, and of course, temperature sensors and all of the other best stuff that should be inside a packaged a product like this. This is going to work well for a lot of you, especially if you guys like to go camping just around the house or just quick emergencies, or again, traveling in the car to keep them kids very happy and fun. This is a great piece right there. So if you need something like that, definitely check it out. Now, for those of you noticing that I froze, I do apologize. I'm not sure why I'm freezing and I'm having frame drops right now. It could be all part of some other stuff, but we're gonna apologize right now for it and keep going. So 240 V2 guys, $179. Great price point, perfect little piece for you. With that being said, now we're gonna move on from the 240 V2 to the original 300. Now we're gonna kind of plug through some of this stuff tonight. The 300 is, of course, another beautiful little power station. 293 watt hours of power in a package of this size. It has a fixed handle, has that beautiful Jackery logo. Now, with this, you actually have two AC outlets. Those AC outlets are 300 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak at 600 for you. You do have a 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter plug over here, and you also have, of course, two USB A ports and a USB C port. That USB-C port is, of course, a 60 watt in and out port. Now, 293 watt hours of power on this thing. Do you have any units that output 220? No, so we don't actually have a 220 plug. No, there is no 220 plugs on these power stations. I'm not sure if there are any in the making of that because that is a big power supply of power. Now, the bigger stations back there can do 3,000 watts of pure sine wave power. The bigger ones back there can actually run a TIG or MIG welder. But a 220 is just a big, big plug. So, as I know, Bill, not that I know of, no. But Lois may be able to reply and, of course, Discord for me to let me know if there is a version or if there is something in the making. So, with that. Now I'm gonna go back to this. Of course, the 300 with 293 watt hours of power. This is going to allow you to run a Nintendo Switch for about 40 hours of runtime with that. About 6 drone batteries, of course, as well. Now, by itself, 3.5 hours on a wall plug, you're good to go. For those of you that want to charge it with the USB-C port and the wall plug, guys, 2 hours you're charged, you're up, you're running, and you're perfectly set with that. For the 100 watt solar panel, of course, 4.5 hours, and you're up, and Bob is your uncle, of course, and you're working perfectly well. I like that with this. Now, you could run other things off of this, like a mini cooler for about 4.5 hours, your laptop for your 60 watt TV, about 4.5 hours as well. This is still under 8 pounds. It's like 7.1. So Bill, we do not. There are no units that do 220, 240 output with that. I do let you know. So, oh, you have a well that takes 220. Oh yeah. Yeah. So there is not actually one now. I really don't know if there's any way around that with that though, because I know some of these can be connected up to the house, but it takes an adapter and stuff. I'm not sure if that would automatically start pounding your house or if you still have to plug into this. So that one's out of my range. So I do, yeah. So as Lois says, there is no units that do 220 at this time. No. So I did get your answer for you. For those of you that usually talk to Lois in chat, she's one of the ones that is affected by the issue today where their accounts are not working. So I do apologize for that. Now with that, you got a DC plug as well. You have everything you need. It has of course, a beautiful housing and a lightweight package. Now the 300 is actually $198. It's like 29% off. This is a really, really good price point. It's a really well price point with that. And I kind of like it because the size, the portability, and the usability of this, and the, of course, original shelling. So if you guys need something like that right here, this is a nice option at 29% off still. Yeah, so Bill, yeah, I totally forgot about some of them wells are actually with 220 volts. Because I know some of them still use like the 60 watt style, which is crazy. But yeah, I totally forgot about the 220s. We're gonna talk about this right here. We have another beautiful little station. We're gonna start moving up in size. We're gonna actually pop off with, of course, the 500. Now, I have some frame drops. What I'm going about to do, guys, is I might pull up Restream and I might drop off a few of the channels to see if we got a better fixture of this, because it looks like we're having slight technical errors. So let's see if we can get us a little bit clearer of a stream here. So I do apologize